Welcome back to the best Dominion cards list, part 15. We're getting into the good cards costing 4, ranks 30 to 21. Rank 30, Envoi. Envoi has a slightly better average, but still lost 1 rank. It has a high deviation. It is 2 ranks lower in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, Envoi is a pretty powerful draw card. Smithy is still to come, and I can already spoil it's not in this part, so please tell me why. Because Envoi is pretty much better most of the times in big money, mostly if you can at least get rid of your estates or somehow silverflood with Masterpiece or Delve or opponent's governors or something, or trade for example. Um, then Envoi is just crazy powerful in big money, and also in engines where you can trash, Envoi is just way better than Smithy because you don't have any bad cards, and then it draws basically an extra card. It makes engines possible that otherwise wouldn't be possible, especially if you need a lot of payload that doesn't draw and the village doesn't draw. Then you can still add an Envoi because it draws 4 cards. So I think Envoi is just more powerful than Smithy overall. I don't get why you would vote otherwise, so please tell me. I could see it way higher. Rank 29, Transmogrify. Transmogrify is slightly better, 2 ranks and over 2 percentage points. It is 1 rank lower in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, Transmogrify is very nice to have at least one of in every deck, because it can prevent duds. You can turn one different action card into a village at the start of your turn if you're missing one, and you can get started. And of course there are different combos with Fortress and with Rats and so on, which you can pull off. You can turn your starting estates into silvers and putting right into hand. It's a little bit slow because you have to put you don't need Tavern Mat, and you have to do it at the start of your turn, so it's you have to wait 1 turn, which makes it of course not that great as an opener if you don't draw it in turn 3, because then it misses the shuffle, and the silver you get misses the shuffle. But yeah, there are a lot of cases where we want at least one, because you can do nice tricks with it. Any cards that you can trash and get a benefit out of. So, for example, cultist, you can trash a cultist, get a cultist in hand. You basically just got +3 cards. Or trashing hunting grounds, getting hunting grounds in hand. Then you get a duchy. These are nice tricks that you can do, and this is really nice to have. Rank 28, Procession. After climbing 12 ranks last year, Procession stayed pretty much constant. It is 1 rank lower in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, Procession is ranked lower than Throne Room. I think that's right, because Throne Room is useful basically on every engine board, while Procession, there have to be some cards with it, some special cards on the board. So you basically need a strong board overall, so that gaining a different action card is just as good as keeping the action card, or even better because it costs more. And you basically need a chain of costs in the action that it's making worth it, or at least 2 strong action cards, and one costs 1 more than the other. Then it's quite nice to from the first one to gain the second one. And it's just crazy good with Border Village, Throne, or Process, the 5 cost card, getting the 5 cost card back with a free village with it, which both you can play still in the same turn. So this is crazy good. But there are, of course, other good combos. For example, Procession Fortress is just really good. And in general, Procession is nice to have whenever you want the throne room. If there are no good targets early on. You can still get it in late in the game and sacrifice some of your engine pieces and still have a good benefit. And it also can lead to nice free pile endings, procession, and get a lot of 5 cost cards, or procession of 3 cost card, getting more processions, and so on. So yeah, so in the end game it's just really powerful. Rank 27, Ironworks. Ironworks made a huge jump 2 years ago, then lost a bit last year. This year it recovered, going 6 ranks back up again. It is 4 ranks lower in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, ironworks is basically nice to have on every board where you want a lot of 4 cost cards, just like engineer or workshop or armory. But that it's non-terminal most of the times because you want to gain action cards is just a big benefit, that you can add even multiple ironworks without thinking much if you have the enough draw. I don't get it why it got higher, is much higher than even duplicate, as I said earlier with when I talked about duplicate, because I think they're similar in strength. Ironworks is just a stronger card, but it's just limited to 4 cost cards, while duplicate can gain any action card, even costing 5 or 6 that you gain as a duplicate. So I don't see Ironworks that much higher, because it just seems limited in its cost. And yeah, I'm looking forward to your comments why you think Ironworks is so much better. And it's a nice card, it's a good card, it's certainly the best one of the cards, Armory, Engineer and Workshop. But I'm not sure if it's really better than Duplicate. Rank 26, Caravan. Caravan continues to fall like in the last 2 years. This year even more 7 ranks and even over 11 percentage points in its median. It's still 5 ranks higher in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, Caravan is non-terminal draw, and non-terminal draw is always amazing. So if in every board where you have one non-terminal draw, Caravan is just the way to go. So if it's the only draw, you basically have to go for it to get at least some draw. And if you win the Caravan split 10-0, you basically just won already. If there are other if there are other draw, you can skip Caravan, but it's still non-terminal. So if you want a lot of terminals for your payload, you might get want some Caravans so that you can play all those terminals. It's just basically on every board, good on every board where Laboratory is good, but of course Caravan misses shuffles and you have to basically get only half a card of draw, while Laboratory gives a full card. So Laboratory is of course better, but Caravan still a nice draw. 25, Sacrifice. This is the 3rd best Empires card in this list and has of course a high deviation. Yeah, Sacrifice compares similar to Moneylender, and I don't see why it's higher than Moneylender, honestly, because most of the time you use it for a treasure card and then it gives less money. The upside is of course that it can trash victory cards, but the benefit of 2 points is not that great, because you rather want some money, like if you open a Salvager to trash trashing estates. Yeah, the big upside is of course that it can trash estates, but I think with Moneylender and Sacrifice on the board, I certainly want to open Moneylender. It's of course best in trashing ruins, then it's amazing. Trashing ruins is so good, giving you 2 cards and 2 actions, or trashing fortress for example, or rats or other action cards that you want to trash. Then it's just really good, being a lost city. But I'm not sure. I think it's at least similar in strength than Moneylender, not so much better. Yeah, tell me about it. I haven't played with it a lot, so I'm looking forward to your comments. What do you think about it? Rank 24, Monument. Just like Caravan, Monument lost 7 ranks as well, even though it was ranked first once. It has a small lead over Sacrifice of 0.11 percentage points. It is 3 ranks lower in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, Monument is just like Bridge, one of the best payloads you can get for only 4 coins in an engine, because you can wait a long time until you go for green, because the longer the game goes, the more points you get, and can catch up really nicely against some player going for big money, who will stall while you can still gain points. The upside over Bridge is that it's nicer if you get fewer of them. So even if you have an engine that plays 1 monument each turn, it's probably better than an engine that plays Bridge each turn. Of course, if you need the plus buy, then you go for Bridge. Um, but the plus 1 point is of course nicer. Also 2 monuments, but if you play 3 or 4, then of course Bridge is better, because then they stack really well together, and you can pile provinces or duchies or something and win the game with Bridge. But Monument is still nice payload for every engine, and even if you play only one of it in a slog gear game or a money focused game, then those extra points can make the difference. So Monument is overall in basically every deck a nice card. I can see it way higher. Not sure why it's losing points over the last few years. Can't tell you what's the reasoning behind that is. Rank 23, Fortress. Fortress is the next village, the 6th out of the 9, and it also 1 ranks quite a lot. 10 ranks and also nearly 10 percentage points. It has a pretty low deviation, and it is 3 ranks lower in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, given that there are a lot of cards that can trash and give you a big benefit out of it, Fortress is useful even if you don't need a village, because it gives you fodder for those cards. So Procession, Transmogrify, Upgrade, Death Card, even to play being able to continue to play Mercenary or Forager is really nice to have with Fortress. And there are a lot of more cards that I didn't mention that are really comboing well with Fortress. Remake, Develop, for example. All those cards that depend on cost and can keep the card is really nice to have. So this makes it a strong card, even if it were a cantrip with this effect. Would be still nice, but given that it's village, makes it of course way more useful on way more boards. And yeah, it's deservedly going higher because it's very useful on many boards. Rank 22, Marauder. Marauder lost 6 ranks, its median is way higher than its average, staying at around the same value. It has a high deviation, and it is still 3 ranks higher in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, Marauder is a very strong attack, given that it's dealing out the ruins and giving you economy in at least a delayed one in those spoils, making this really nice. And you have to go for it basically on most boards. So it can still help you to hit 5 at least one shuffle later, and still at the same time delay slowing down your opponent with those ruins, which is really nice, because in those slogs the spoils are really good, while with Bandit Camp, for example, it may be worse than a vanilla village because you don't need the spoils, but with Marauder you basically gladly take the spoils every time, until maybe the late game. If you can trash down with a strong treasure and with the ruins, then you might not want the spoils, but still, if you can draw your deck, then you can um, get rid of his spoils on the same turn. So Marauder is really nice payload or attack that you can play. And I don't get why it lost 6 ranks as well. Maybe because trashing got stronger over time, but I can't remember a lot of games where I skip Marauder because it's a strong attack to open with that you want on basically every board. Rank 21, Plaza. Plaza is the 5th out of the 9 villages, so the middle one. It is also a little bit higher, though only 2 ranks. It has a small lead over a Marauder of 0.08 percentage points, and it is 1 rank lower in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, Plaza is a card nice to have basically also on every board, because even if you don't need a village, if playing a big money-ish game, adding 1 Plaza might be better than silver, because those coin tokens, like every other coin token generating card, smooth out your buys for big money players, so it helps you with all those 7 coin hands. On the first one you can get a duchy, on the second one you can get a province, and still have a coin token left over, for example. So this is really nice to have. Also in engines where you can draw your deck and have maybe only 1 or 2 treasures, you can discard the same treasure over and over again at the end of the shuffle. And then Plaza is even better than a Bazaar, which makes it really strong effect for just 4 coins. So Plaza is really nice to have. Sometimes you of course want a treasureless deck, then Plaza is just a vanilla village. But even if you just only keep 1 treasure around, Plaza is just really good. And a village really nice to have. So this was it. Tell me about it, about the reasoning, about Envoi being so low and ironworks being so high. Also tell me what you think about sacrifice. I'm really eager to learn about the new cards, what you think about them. I ranked it way lower, and Monument Marauder seem to me cards that should be higher, so also I'm looking for the comments on those cards. So thanks for watching, see you soon for the next time, bye.